Welcome one, welcome all. Yes, it's time for Three Guys Before the Game. Episode number 675. This is our Arizona State recap. Ouch. Didn't feel good. Didn't feel good at all.
Could have had one.
Yeah.
Could have been a thanks for having us.
Yeah, it could have been a huge thanks for having us. You see two guys if you're watching on screen, but wait, as they used to say on the infomercial, but wait, there's more. He's back. Yeah, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. We've located Kirchville. Thanks to all the emergency responders, the Silver Alert worked really, really well, and we were able to find him. This is really good. Hop's with us.
He looks good there. He's got some nice lighting.
Well, sure. He does. You got lighting and everything. Three Guys Before the Game. Brought to us by GoMart. Get yourself that GoMart app. Do it immediately because you can save on food and fuel. Plus, I'm really into this Marty Spin thing we got going up until December 19th. Go into GoMart, use the app, you spin, you win all kinds of prizes. Who knows? I mean, there might be a special gift like you win a GoMart store. That might be a possible.
Well, I don't know about that.
Might be a possible. Or either that or like a Snickers bar. Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit. Now available for catering opportunities near this holiday season. It's easy. Take all the hassle away. Just call the Tudors up and say, hey, this is how many I'm feeding. This is what I need. Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They simply won't take no for an answer. Spreads on Stats is coming up. Brought to us by the Connolly CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right, let's do this thing. Episode 675. It's the Arizona State game recap, and just doing some quick math, which I try not to do in public. This would leave us 125 episodes away from episode 800. And all I have to say about that is, listen, it's been a great run. And that's all we'll say. Let's bring in Hoppy Kirchville, who has not been with us, if I'm doing my math correctly, for like the last 17 or 18 days, missed several shows.
2022, last time he appeared.
Yes, and he is back. Top of the day to you, sir.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. I note that while I was away, West Virginia did nothing but win.
Yeah.
And I come back and West Virginia loses.
Yeah.
So causation, correlation.
Yeah. We should point out you are in Arizona. You were at the Arizona State game yesterday. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You went with some college buddies, is that right?
Yeah. We got together, 6 other college buddies and I got together and decided to meet for this game. So we gathered from all over the country and went to the game.
Yeah.
And it was a different experience for me. I had not been to a football game in years, so it was different. And I tell you guys, if you want to get into the obvious observations,
well, not
first
until we play.
I got here on Friday and I put on my WV.
Yeah, not until we play.
Okay.
You can't start it until we play your song.
He's rusty. Okay. He hasn't been here in a while.
Yeah,
Give him some grace.
I would just think just a big accomplishment at his age, still to have 6 college buddies around. I mean, that's a great that's a great step right in the right direction there. That's good to have. That's really good.
Yes. Well, he's anxious to go here. He hasn't been on in a while.
I know. He's kind of...
Play the music because he's ready. He's raring to go here.
All right, we're not wasting any time. Here we go, man. Hoppy's obvious observations. He went to his first football game in a long, long time, and he sat in the stands. He wasn't working it.
He's got thoughts that sound brand new, but they're things we already knew.
Yeah.
He's got his lip balm ready. Heaven knows. Let's make it quick before his bladder blows.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah.
That is a good song.
It's really
I like
nice.
that.
Very well done. Thanks again to Gary Mertens.
It is.
I put that together. All right, so hit us with your obvious observations. I saw you sent me a picture of where you were sitting. Pretty good, really good seats. So you had a good look at it.
Good seats. Yeah. Yeah, right on the 45 across from you. I think you were way up high, right? Weren't you way up high?
Yeah, it was high, but it was good.
I think you were.
Yeah, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
But okay. But Guys, what was interesting about this is that I got here Friday and spent 2 hours walking around campus and going to local establishments. And my guys got in later. And yesterday went down to the homecoming parade because it was homecoming for Arizona State. And then, of course, went to the game. So I was probably spent like 4 or 5 hours among Arizona State fans even prior to the game. And Brad, the word I came up with was sterile. Nobody said, "Go home, Mountaineers." Nobody said, "Welcome, Mountaineers." And I think that's because there's just no history, right? I mean, they don't know who we are. Who are these strange people from the East who are called West? And then we don't know who they are. There's no rivalry there. So it was just kind of a sterile environment, I think, for the visitors. Then after the game, everybody was polite. Of course, they won. Like, hey, thanks. Then it was great game, which it was. Good luck to you. We said good luck to them. So it was a very casual environment. There wasn't a lot of tension. And those fans, Tony, they only booed twice in the game. Once was in West Virginia, came out, and another time when there was a call that the fans didn't like, but there was not hostility directed toward West Virginia. So
Yeah.
interesting. Certainly over time, maybe some rivalry develops. That's first. The game itself, and you guys have already touched on this, this is one that got away. I mean, you had this one. You had opportunities in this game and couldn't capitalize. I know you'll talk about this twice inside the 5, came away with no points on those two of those attempts. That 2-point conversion, 2 points end up being the difference in the game, and didn't get anything going on that 2-point conversion. Couldn't run the ball, 68 yards rushing. By the same token, I thought the best player on the field was Jeff Sims. And an interesting story. Here's a guy who was at Georgia Tech. He was at Nebraska. He's been up and down. This is his third school. He was behind Sam Levitt. He comes on, and Tony, he has a great game. He's 19 of 28, 207, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and probably had about 4 drops. Ran for 81 yards. I thought he was the difference in the game for Arizona State. West Virginia did make some big plays, and Brad, you've talked a lot about West Virginia's inability to make big plays, and they made big plays. I mean, how about that great call on 3rd and 27? Get the ball to Tavon Bowers, right, and just let him do what he does. And on that play, I went back and watched it. Jacob Barrick had a tremendous block on the outside, had a great block that really sprung him. And then the long pass to Jeff Weimer. So he had big plays. You had big plays. That roughing the passer call late really hurt. That was on that last drive by Arizona State where they ended up kicking the field goal. And I didn't get a second look at it.
I didn't either.
So
Did you get it
on that call?
Yeah, he went low. He went low. It's an automatic penalty. The passer's in his passing position, legs locked, and he dove at his knees. That's an automatic penalty.
Was the ball out?
Yeah. So it was a little bit late, but it's an automatic penalty when you dive low at the knees. So and I'll get into that. There's some numbers to back that up. It was a massive play. Obviously, it put him in scoring position. Yeah. That's tough, though, man. You're just trying to make extra effort and make a play, and you're just lunging to get there. And it was an unfortunate situation there because it did hurt you.
Yeah, because otherwise it would have been 3rd and 8, and they get a first down. They move the ball up, then they kick the field goal. And Jesus Gomez, I mean, he's got a big leg, but he had not made a ton. I think it was like 50% from 40. He had 40 plus.
Yeah, after he had the one blocked, that made him 2 for his last 5 because he was 2 of his last 4 going into the game, and then he had the one blocked. He was 2 out of 5. Think about Gomez. Gomez throws the 2-point conversion pass, and then he drills the 49-yard field goal. Probably did not have Jesus Gomez on your bingo card as the guy that was going to decide the game.
We did not break him down on Friday's episode.
I'm sorry. But that kid, guys, that thing would have been good from 59. He drilled it. And then, West Virginia couldn't get anything going on their last possession. So, and by the way, on calls, and again, we talk about calls. I don't want to say all the officials cost them the game, but I did not like that second call on Fred Perry. When he threw down the runner. I mean, maybe that was a good call, maybe not. I didn't like that call. But the bottom one, more
and more though, this year it's almost a guarantee. If you have a guy wrapped up around the waist and you pick him up, here comes the flag.
Except when it happens to Scotty Fox.
Correct.
That's the only time it doesn't get called, is if Fox is the one that is body slammed.
Yeah.
Who was that, BYU?
No, that was
Where
more
was
recently. That was
Houston?
No. Yeah, yes, Houston. Right side. He ran it off to the right side.
the
Guy
right-
picked him up.
Picked him up, slammed a no call.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So, it didn't cost you the game. It just, things were pointing out, obvious observations. So finally, the bottom line for me is, and my crew, my subjective crew I was hanging with, my boys, we all agreed it was a great effort. It was an entertaining game. It was a great effort. I mean, this is a team that was left for dead a few weeks ago. They rattled off a couple of wins and put a great effort together on the road against a good team that's still competing for a league title. And you come up a little short because you didn't make a couple of plays and they made a couple of plays. And you made a couple of mistakes and couldn't get yards in short yardage situations. So disappointing because it was there. But, I was thinking too that this Arizona State team, when their new coach took over, they were 3-7. They're 3-9, something their first year. Mm-hmm. They only won 3 games. Last year, won the league title. This year, they're competing for a league title. And I don't want to say you aspire to be Arizona State, but I think you see a potential arc there for a team like West Virginia. You can end up with 4 wins this year, probably. But you can be optimistic. You can be hopeful based on the kind of effort you're getting at the end of this season and the fact that other teams are doing it too. So came away disappointed, but not in despair, because I still think there are opportunities going forward. Just that this is one that Brad just needed a couple more plays.
Very well done, Hoppy. He's right back. I mean, he just jumped in that saddle. I want to cue the music.
Well, that was something we already knew. Obvious thoughts from Hoppy's point of view.
He was right on it.
This segment has been brought to us by Blistex.
Yep.
The lip balm in the blue can, soft lips, smooth talk, that's the plan.
Very nice. How the low humidity there, how does that impact your lip balm? Were you going to the can at all? Did you get chapped there at all, or are you pretty good?
Not as much. I was pretty good. And by the way, it was a nice day to sit in the stands. It got a little hot there later in the afternoon, but a lot of cloud cover, not too hot.
Yeah.
Pretty pleasant experience. How was your you were way, way, way up there, but you had a good view.
Yeah, it was good. I hadn't been there since the 90s. When it was a 70,000 plus seat stadium. They took 20,000 seats out, and some things haven't changed. Like the booth was the same booth, but it was completely fine. It was completely fine. Just incredibly disappointed by the outcome of the game for the simple reason, as you just alluded to, Hoppy, that was there. Now you think about it, big picture, you are 2-2 in your last 4 games, but you have now played 4 straight games of what West Virginia football is going to be going forward, and that is an ultra-competitive team, but trying to do that right now in the early going, personnel-wise, and everything that goes with it. So you are trending up, but you're 2-2, and you very well could have been 3-1, or even 4-0 in these last 4 games, which makes it disappointing. We'll get into all that coming up on Textual Healing as well.
I do think, to your point there, if you're trying, again, and I'll give the standard disclaimer that you give, and hopefully after this year you don't have to give many more of these. Program wasn't built on moral victories, I get it. But when you're trying to be real and look where this team was in that 5-game losing skid and look where they've come, I think a couple things jumped to me. And Tony, this was note number 1 on my notes, but you said it when you first walked in the studio. You hit part of it right there. That's an Arizona State team. Hoppy said it, won the league last year. They're still theoretically in contention. They're going to have a good season, go to a bowl. They're missing 2 of their best offensive players. I get that. But West Virginia is as well, and missing more than just 2, missing a boatload of them. And that's a game not should have won. You walk out of there saying, or not could have won. You walk out saying probably should have won that game. You had more opportunities. I'll get into some of the numbers that normally indicate a win when you end up with the numbers. We'll get into that. So I thought from a macro standpoint, you talk about this team from where it was And are you seeing improvement? And are you seeing individuals? And Hop, you talked about the explosive plays that we didn't see for a big stretch of this season. Multiple different guys with big-time plays that came through. Didn't do enough to get the win. And still too many mistakes to get over the hump there to get a win. But I do think there's something you can take out of that. Second part of that that's a companion piece that goes along with it. I thought Rich's post-game press conference probably indicates and backs up everything we're saying right there. It's the first time the old Rich, I think, has come out in a post-game press conference or even a regular weekly Tuesday press conference. He was hot.
Sizzling.
If he said it once, he said it 100 times that you got to be able to get this much, and he put his hands up like that. I mean, how many times did he say that? He could have just said that and just repeated it and kept going and then walked away after 30 seconds. So you could tell he was highly agitated walking out of there without the win, and it's the first time I've seen him react that way, which tells me he moved past the what can we do here to we could have had that win, should have had that win, should have been walking out of here with a win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Agree or disagree?
No, I totally.
He was different after that game than he's been all year.
Yeah, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, you're right. This year's been difficult for a bunch of different reasons, and for him, number one, he's not used to losing. That's one. Number two, he knew that his hands were going to be a little bit restricted to what he could do because they got in here without a full recruiting cycle. One. Then you have this unbelievable, unprecedented number of injuries during the course of the season. So he's kind of been trying to manage that, and that's been bumming him out.
And you haven't seen him lose his mind a whole lot,
right?
Either in game or post game,
right?
Right.
So he's been kind of okay. I know I got to do. And now he went out there and he went, oh yeah, okay. I've been here before. I know how to do this. And then
we're getting closer.
We're getting close. And then you have the inability to gain the first down on these short yardage plays. Then you have penalties, 4 personal foul penalties. At one point, 2 back-to-back, had a face mask and then the personal foul there. So like to him, the furnace had hit its point. He just exploded, right? Which tells us it's the same Rich. 17 years later, we get that, but he knows he's closer than he is farther away,
yes,
and he just can't wait to get the pieces that he needs, because then he will go on the redemption tour. And next year you could already theme this thing as what it's going to be, and he will have all the fuel that he needs, and he will use that going forward. But unfortunately, you hit a super low point here because that was so. It was so right there in your hand.
Yeah, so I thought that was telling the way he reacted. They're both in game too. He got after Fox once. That was as much as I've seen him get after one of the quarterbacks this year. That looked like old school Rich when he expects so much out of you and you're not delivering. So I just thought that kind of backed up what we saw out there, that this was a game you should have walked out of there with a win.
Yeah.
Guys, as you alluded to, there's a lot of things you need to be able to do and a lot of things that need to be corrected. But at its base level, you have to be able to get a yard. I don't care what you do. I don't care what your offensive strategy is. I don't care who your players are. You have to be able to get a yard. And as Dwight Wallace likes to say, one man with courage makes a majority. And that was very revealing in this game. You couldn't get a yard or two when you had to. And that was a difference in this game.
Yeah. That was the essence, and that's the essence of the game of football, right? That's the essence of the game of football, and you came up short in doing that. And we'll get into more of that coming up here in just a little bit. 3 Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Comax Business Systems, West Virginia's answer to your hydration problem, as Kirchville reels back and sucks down some beverage. He knows that he needs water. Don't know if he brought one of those I-12 water coolers with him, but if you own a business or have a need to help people hydrate, their new I-12 water cooler. Sleek design, cutting-edge technology, produces hot, cold water. It's filtered. You don't have to be lugging around plastic bottles into the workplace anymore. You can visit them at comaxwv.com. That's comaxwv.com. Besides the water machine, they got every other piece of office equipment you could ever want. 3 Guys also brought to us by, staying on the topic of water, Lou Wendell Marine Sales and Service. 40 years. They're award-winning, the #1 pontoon boat dealer in the state of West Virginia. As you take your motor boat craft out and need service, Lou Wendell is there for you. And I'm telling you what, Christmas is coming. I mean, wouldn't you want to get a buoy for Christmas? Maybe a big life raft or something like that. They got all
like a boat. Just put a big bow on that boat.
Put a boat on a boat. Yeah, you could do that. Visit Lou Wendell Marine Sales and catch up on season-ending deals. All right, we're going to bounce around to different topics. We recapped the Mountaineer Pitt game in our last episode, and West Virginia plays Monday against Lafayette and then head to Charleston, South Carolina later this week. We'll talk about that. By the way, that event we're going to have next Saturday down there in Charleston at Morty's Fish World.
No, it's Lawrence's. Quit calling it Fish World. Lawrence's.
Oh, okay. It's sold out. Imagine that.
Like literally sold out?
It's sold out. The tickets are gone.
We were down to just a few Fridays episodes, so they're gone.
Sold out.
Awesome.
Next Saturday afternoon from noon until 3, we will be at Lewis's Seafood.
Lawrence's.
Oh, Lawrence's too. We're going to be at Lawrence's.
Last time we're at Lawrence's, can't come back.
We're going to be at Larry's Fish World, and well, listen, they don't know. People already got their tickets. They don't know where to go. Anyway, we're going to have music. We're going to have fun, and it's between the two games that West Virginia plays because West Virginia is off on Saturday. Meanwhile, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I will be. What the WVU women's basketball team did on Friday night.
Oh, my.
Is the most, I don't want to go too far over the top, but it is truly one of the most amazing things in sports that I have ever witnessed. My initial thought was it's a combination of all of the movies that we grew up watching, like Rocky, like Field of Dreams, like Miracle on Ice, like name Hoosiers. Hoosiers, like it was all wrapped up into one thing. Someone in the text chat coming up in here a little bit later, they said, well, we need to have a nickname for the 5 Mountaineers who played the entire second half, and I thought they hit it perfectly. Called them the White Sulphur 5.
That was good. I saw the WVU women's basketball account called them just the Greenbrier 5, which rolls off the tongue better.
I think White Sulphur 5 is better because that is White Sulphur 5. But anyway, I was listening to the game at halftime when it all happened, and a couple of things. One, I mean, I get the ejections because if you come off the bench, automatic, right? Personally, I thought the exchange between Jordan Harrison and the Duke player, I thought that warranted a technical on each. That's what I thought that was. I didn't think that's ejection. I mean, how many times in a game do you go like, boom, boom, okay, psh, get back. Anyway, the fact that it took those officials over 30 minutes to figure out what the call was is absolutely high school Harry. Are you freaking kidding me? You can't do that in 30 minutes? 30 minutes? That was ridiculous. Point. That's the one thing people aren't talking about. They're more upset that they kicked the players out. To me, it's like, it took you 30 minutes to do that. Not good. Not good. Anyway, forget about that. What those girls did, simply breathtaking. You had 4 reserves, you had 1 starter, and you're down at halftime. And they lined up. You said, oh, is that right? You only going to let us play with 5? Let me show you something.
It was outstanding.
Man.
How about CC goes 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes with 4 fouls. They're attacking her, and I know she had to just back off a couple times. 6.5 minutes with 4 fouls when the other team is intentionally trying to get you out of the game, and you don't foul out? That was unbelievable. That really was a remarkable. That was perfect too, because you and I share the weirdness gene. I love weird things. The fact you're playing that thing in that ballroom, I've been there for the Grinch Whoville Christmas buffet. Been in there, Hoppy. Had the buffet in that room, and they're in there, and it's packed in, and there's 1,300 seats, but it feels like there's 7, and it's loud and it's chaotic and it's weird. It was perfect that happened in that event, in that building, allowed it to get even louder. That was great. That was just, the whole thing was
surreal.
Outstanding and surreal. Yeah.
The thing was surreal. Go ahead.
It made a couple things about it. One is it was surreal. It was historic. It made national news. I mean, national news. 6 players kicked out. You finish with 5 and you win the game. That was a national story. Number one. Number two is that I'm with you guys, or Tony, with what you said. Jordan Wood taunted after the block. Okay, I don't want to get in like schoolyard. She started, but she taunted. You can't do what she did. And then Jordan Harrison came back with the push. I get that. You can't come off the bench, but I agree with you. Like, look, if the players had not come off the bench, I think you could have just offsetting technicals and move on. But to win the game the way they did was historic. But I think I'm going to go with Greenbrier 5. I like Greenbrier 5 better.
Rolls off the tongue. Top 15 team, that's the other part. I don't care who they would have beaten in that situation. It would have been an unbelievable win. To do it against the 15th ranked team in the country, that's what makes it even more unbelievable and puts it further up the chart in Mountaineer lore.
Going forward, I'll be very interested to see what the lasting implications are from this game. For West Virginia, you would think now that it will have a mindset that regardless of the situation that they are in, that they will take you down to the absolute final second. 1. 2, that may leave a permanent scar on Duke. Their mentality has been absolutely scalded by this performance. Which way do they go? Which way do they go? Now think about in the surreal category, how bizarre was it for them? They're in that silly ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's all West Virginia people. Now all you need to do is give a West Virginian a reason to be pissed off, right? So you kick out those 6 players, and those Mountaineer fans in the crowd go, "Oh, really?"
Against Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Against Duke, who's not a fan favorite to begin with.
Exactly. Private, this, then. Oh, really?
Oh, is that right?
And
that was a great "is that right" game.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Those walls inside of that ballroom, I mean, the walls had to be buzzing. You could just feel it and hear it.
Yeah.
And I think the Duke players at some point had to be, where in the hell am I?
It's great. It was great.
And Kellogg, Coach K, the real Coach K, how beautiful was he? His demeanor, like he could have flipped out and been just miserable and mad at the officials for the whole thing, but instead he went the other way.
And change style of play too.
Sure.
That's also, I mean, again, not that you needed evidence that Mark Kellogg's a really good basketball coach, but that's further evidence, right? He had to switch how they play. You had to change offensive scheme, defensive scheme, slow it down a little. He had to go into a different mode and did. And then again, I always say this, that's fine. I mean, I would expect Mark, one of the elite coaches, to be able to do that. The players then executed something that they're not used to doing. Mm-hmm. They had to play differently.
Sure.
What a great job.
Yeah.
All the way around.
I think that the Greenbrier has this incredible history. So now I think you have of its history, you have, well, it had the bunker there in case there's a nuclear attack. It was a hospital during World War II. And it's where West Virginia beat Duke
with 5 players.
With 5 players. That now moves up in terms of the historic significance of the Greenbrier.
Well, don't forget the great tea service too as well, Hoppy.
Yeah.
You
get the great tea.
The afternoon tea.
Yeah, don't want to underestimate afternoon tea.
Yeah.
That was fun. Good for them.
An all-time. That's an all-time moment in the history of the program.
Agree.
You guys like Greenbrier 5. I like White Sulphur 5 better. Anyway, we move on. Coming up, Textual Healing. In just a second, a reminder that holiday season is here. Do you know, guys, we're like 5 weeks away from Christmas. 5 weeks away from Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So it is time to do some partying and some events. Obviously, a lot of parties and workplaces, things like that. The good folks at Tudor's Biscuit World can cater your event. If you want to do something kind of comfortable and easy, just contact Tudor's Biscuit World. They've got a catering menu for you. You pick it up, lay it out, bingo. You got yourself a special deal. Visit Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's biscuit, and they can cater your event. Did you hit the triple points yesterday?
I did. Streak continues.
4?
I'm on a heck of a run. 4 straight.
4 straight Saturdays. You got triple
lined
rewards.
up. Just took the triple points. Thank you. Appreciate that, Mark.
Did you walk in, or did you just do it off the gas tank?
Just
pump?
off the tank. I didn't.
But you didn't go in and get the Marty Spin?
I did not get Marty's Spin, nor did I get a Reese Peanut Butter Cup this time.
Marty's Merry Spin is available for you. Spin your way to sweet treats, awesome prizes, bonus rewards points. All you got to do is walk in, hit that QR code, and you spin, and you can win a ton of stuff. like a ton of stuff. Let me see what else they got here. You know what you can get? You could get a $1,000 GoMart gift card, $500 shopping spree, or $500 charity donation plus 5,000 bonus reward points. All of that stuff, candy, things like that. So get in there, do your Marty spin. By the way, Phil was on the trip with us.
Phil from GoMart.
Yeah.
He had a good trip.
The main dude, the main go of the capital G of GoMart.
Yeah. Now, he was a backyard brawl on Thursday.
Busy.
Correct? Yeah.
Yeah, he was very busy. But yeah, he was with us as well. Did not bring Marty with him. I looked over behind me. He was 2 rows behind me on the flight. I thought he'd have the big gopher in the outfit there, but didn't see him.
Next time.
Did not see him. All right. Textual Healing is coming up. And again, in all seriousness, we are looking forward to our event on Saturday afternoon between the 2 Mountaineer basketball games down in Charleston, South Carolina. Skippy's going to be there, by the way. Kirchville's going to be there. Hop's going to be there.
To be determined.
No,
how I get there.
No, yeah, we got to find him a way. We got to find a way to get Hoppy there. But we're going to be there and do a live show. So we encourage you. I'd say you probably go to SeatGeek. Probably buy these things bootleg at a higher value, like a Taylor Swift concert.
Probably.
Right?
And more details coming on the next Charleston event, Charleston, West Virginia.
You know what? I screwed up.
Still efforting.
We haven't even done spreads on stats.
I know. I was waiting for you. I wondered what you were doing over there.
Okay, well, heck, let's do spreads on stats. I mean, hey, equal opportunity. I forgot about that.
Here comes a heater.
Let's jump into the analytics portion of the show. Spreads on Stats is brought to us by the Conley CPA Group. What do they do, you may wonder? Well, they simply provide value beyond numbers. They're a full-service public accounting firm, and they walk with you stride for stride as you manage your business. They give you the expertise, the understanding of what's the best way to do things when it comes to your accounting and just running your business so you don't pay more than you need to. You can save money, make more money. Kind of nice. 40-year anniversary going on right now. You can outsource your accounting or your CFO service. They'll take care of that for you as well. Conley CPA Group. All right, let's do it.
Couple things. I mentioned earlier there were going to be some numbers that you walk out of that game and say normally you hit those benchmarks, you win the game. Outgained them by nearly 100 yards, total yards. Out first downed them, 20-18. Out yard per played them, 6 yards per play for West Virginia, just under 5 for Arizona State. Usually you get those 3 categories that you walk out with a win. Again, as we knew. Let's go back to Friday's preview episode and look at some of our keys and see how they shook out. First thing we said, West Virginia's ability to run it was going to be a key. Some of the raw stats showed that Arizona State's rush defense was pretty good, but you looked underneath that, they were just 110 nationally in EPA per rush, 94th nationally in success rate. So that would tell you, thought maybe you could run it a little bit. You could not. West Virginia averaged just 1.7 yards per carry, and it was really only 2.7 if you removed the sack. So just couldn't get it done. We already mentioned, and Rich did afterwards, you just needed to get a yard a couple of different times, and that game is different. So the inability to run it down by the goal line really cost you. Couple numbers. Power rushing stat here, and that means rushes with 2 yards or less to go that convert into first downs or touchdowns.
Ooh, this is a good. You pulled this one out. You normally don't do this one. This is a new category.
Try and evolve.
I can't wait to hear this. Go ahead. So this is, say that again.
Rushes with 2 or less yards to go that are converted to first downs or touchdowns.
This isn't going to be good.
1 for 7.
Yeah, that's
1 for 7. So there's the story of the game. Could stop right there. Success rate running the football. I just mentioned Arizona State was 94th nationally in this category. Your success rate was only 39%. Under 40 is considered below average. Over 50 is considered above average. So still just a below average day with success rate running the football. So that's number 1. So key number 1 didn't come to fruition. That puts you in some jeopardy right there. Number 2, we said, can West Virginia limit the Arizona State rushing attack? It was a little bit different offense with no Levitt and Sims in there. And I'll get to Sims in a minute because we spent some time breaking him down. Hoppy, you mentioned the good performance that he had. You allowed, we talked about Arizona State's explosive ability in the run game. 84th percentile in rush explosive percentage, commented that Colorado was even better in that category and West Virginia limited them. It started out okay. Just one run of 10 yards or more in the first half. Only 3 rushing plays of over 10 yards in the game. Just 47 yards off those what are considered big rushing plays of 10 or yards more. Just 3 of those all day for 47 yards. So you did your job right there. But what was it that got you? It was the pass plays. 5 pass plays of 15 yards or more in the first half alone. Sims was very effective throwing it. Let's go power rushing stat for Arizona State. Again, rushes with 2 or less yards to go that converted to first downs or touchdowns, 0 for 5. You held their run game in check. You did exactly what you wanted. Hold their run game in check. Don't give up big rushing plays. Make Sims throw the football. And then what was the companion piece to that? You had to get pressure on him, right? You had to get pressure on Sims, and you didn't get there. So I'll get more into that here in just a second. That was hopefully going to force long third downs if you limited the run, right? We talked about that Friday. Slow the run down, force them into third and long, get pressure when Sims really struggles under pressure, put them in long situations. They had averaged 7.5 yards per third down, did Arizona State. It was 106 nationally. In the game, guys, you held them to an average of 8.2 yards per third down. You structured this exactly what you wanted, Hoppy. You held the run game in check, didn't give up big rushing plays, forced Sims to throw it in long third down situations, but he came through. 7 of 10 for 117 on third downs. 7 of 10 passing for 117 on third down. Now let's talk about Sims specifically. We went deep into him, Tony. We talked about his proneness, if that's a word, to turning it over.
He didn't yak it.
We gave you some. He gave you 2 fumbles. You only got 1, and it was on a 4th down, so you were getting the ball anyway. That fumble early was one of those plays early in the game, along with the field goal instead of a touchdown on the first drive, the non-conversion on the second drive. You got no points, and then he fumbled it early. We told you guys he was going to fumble the ball. He did twice. You only got 1 of them, and you couldn't convert that in. He did not throw any picks. That was a surprise there that he didn't give you a pick. He was very good through the air. He flipped his career numbers. He had been a 2-to-1 turnover-worthy play to big-time throw guy. He flipped that. He had 2 big-time throws, no turnover-worthy plays, threw it for 68%. A lot of that was just simply you didn't get any pressure. He was a 38% passer under pressure. You never made him uncomfortable. You were credited with just 1 quarterback hurry and 1 sack on the day. It's an absolute stark contrast to what you did to Houston and Colorado's quarterbacks and Pitt if you want to go back.
1,000%
so
right.
There's your story. Couldn't run it in short yardage, that power rushing number. You didn't get pressure on Sims, a guy who had struggled in his entire career with being pressured in turnovers, and you just couldn't get to him. That's the story.
Totally agree with you. He stood back and delivered the ball, and you're unable to get any kind of pressure on him, consistent pressure, which you did, as you said, against Juju Lewis last week, and then against Connor Wigman of Houston. You were all up into their face, and you could not get to this guy.
Yep, there's a story. So credit to him. He did something that he hasn't done for most of his career, and he beat you. Lined up, had a pretty good game. Even though you were executing the game plan defensively, you just couldn't quite get it home in the few areas where you needed to. So there's it. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I got one more category. You guys find this interesting, so we'll do this one. The most important plays of the game, what swung win probability the most?
Yeah, I like that.
The Fox to Sincere Bowers play. Glad we finally got to see his speed. I mean, he made guys miss, too. That wasn't just straight speed. Guys were like falling at his ankles all over.
Yeah, he's really, really fast. You think he got tired?
Well, he was on the oxygen machine over when he got to the sideline.
Well, I said this during the broadcast. He actually wanted the oxygen at the 15-yard line.
I think he did. I mean, he had guys come up, talk to him. He's like, I'm not talking to you. I got to get this air. I'll be back to you in a minute. That's that 90-yard touchdown, which was really 95 because he caught it on the 5.
And then he ran across the field.
He did run across. He caught it on the right side, ran all the way to left.
Chris Collinsworth could probably give you a stat to how many yards he actually ran. He was well over 100 yards.
I wish we had next-gen stats like the NFL does. It usually shows that.
Yeah.
That added 46% to your win probability.
That's an amazing number.
And it feels like that, right? Feels like you had one there when that happened. The Fox to Weimer big play. Hoppy alluded to both those big plays earlier. Those were both great to see. That added 11% to your win probability, which was really good. On the Arizona State side, I figure you'd ask me about this. The third down pass from Sims right before the game-winning field goal that was incomplete cost Arizona State 15% win probability. But then they kicked the field goal on the very next play. So forcing them into a 49-yard field goal. On the third down play when you got the stop, you thought, all right, you may be in good shape. That swung it back to West Virginia. The roughing the passer penalty added 10% to Arizona State's win probability, I'll be honest, it felt like it was bigger than that, didn't it? Because of the 15 yards it gave them. But in actual numbers, it gave them 10% of their win probability.
Let me ask you this. Does the 49-yard field goal by Gomez, did that change their win probability to 100%?
No, but it was a significant play.
Why wouldn't it add it?
Because you still got the ball.
Okay, but I thought it would be like...
Yeah, I mean, it was way up there, but... yeah,
probably over 80.
Oh, yeah, it was way over that. So there you go. There's some numbers.
Yeah, to me, when I walked out without looking at broken down numbers, to me it was the fact that you did not get Sims to turn the ball over like you were supposed to. You didn't hit him.
You didn't get the interceptions. You got the fumbles. I mean, he'd been fumble prone in his career. He was 2-1 in fumbles to rushing touchdowns. That came to fruition. You just didn't get back on top of the one, and he didn't throw.
Guys, I was sitting there watching that thing, and I was channeling Brad because I thought, as this game went on, I thought Sims is going to give you. He's going to throw you one.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to throw you one. He's going to throw you one, and you just never got it.
It is interesting, guys, if just as a macro conversation, we talk about these numbers sometimes, and there are times when it comes out and it doesn't mean anything, doesn't show anything. It is interesting on those quarterback numbers how often that is hit this year. We talked about it against Ohio U. We talked about it against Holstein. We talked about Connor Wegman at Houston. We didn't have any numbers on Juju. And then this game, where guys, their underlying metrics told you they were turnover machines there.
Mm-hmm.
In every one of them, it came up with the turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting how those have told the story in that regard.
Going all the way back to Parker Navarro.
It did. We said Parker Navarro was going to give you something. He did. You just couldn't cash in on that.
Three Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They specialize in helping folks that need assistance when it comes to filing claims for military, veterans benefits, and Social Security claims. If you or someone that you know need help in that world, contact them first before trying to do it yourself, because they know the way through the bureaucratic maze. Contact Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They simply won't take no for an answer. It doesn't cost you a single penny until they get an award for you. So if you or someone that you know needs help in that category of military benefits or Social Security claims, contact Jan Dills, attorneys at law. No matter where you are, they have clients in all 50 of our states. It's Jan Dills, attorneys at law. You ready now for Textual Healing?
Yeah. You don't want to talk basketball real quick?
Yeah, let's talk basketball.
We can do it real quickly here.
Go ahead.
Lafayette's coming up Monday. I'll give you a quick look at them. But first, I want to look at some numbers real quick for West Virginia overall. Because as we get going here, some trends are starting to develop. As West Virginia started 4-0, that's the best start by a first-year coach since Fred Schaus began 5-0.
Oh, Fred was pretty good.
Fred was pretty good. Off to a great start here. West Virginia now 26th nationally in adjusted efficiency defense. So makes some sense, right, with what you've seen. Top 25 now in effective field goal percentage defense. Top 31 in turnover percentage. 36th, we talked about this Friday, Tony, 36th now in the country in defensive rebounding. I know that was a big concern for people after one game. You've now climbed into the top 40 in that area. These defensive numbers are fantastic. 31st in free throw attempt rate, so you're still getting to the free throw line a bunch. But overall point there, that defense, as we thought it would under Ross Hodge, is starting to come along. And a couple notes here, guys. We said this Friday. The 3-point shooting still hasn't arrived in the big bunches that I do think it will as we get throughout this season. But a couple of those guys, I was watching some film yesterday and talking to Ross about this. There were some things. Number one, Trayson Eaglestaff's defense, I can't stress how far that has come from June. He had a really good defensive game against Pittsburgh, being in the right place. That defensive shell got to a point against Pitt exactly where you wanted to get. There were multiple possessions where West Virginia's defense was literally almost perfect for how they want to do it. Now you just keep expanding that out. What was that Ross told us the other day? You take the periods where things went well and try and extend those periods out, right? That got better against Pitt. Trayson was one of those defensively that's come a long way. And then Honor Huff, and this doesn't show up anywhere on the stats, he had a couple screens. Did you have this on your bingo card? That we'd be talking about Honor Huff's ability to screen?
He was the screener.
2 different times that freed up Harlan Obioha for an easy basket that don't show up anywhere on the stats that contribute to you winning that game.
Honor did that?
Really good. One was down in the lane. Like, he went down in the paint on a backstring, just stood right there, took the hit from a bigger guy, left Harlan wide open for a layup. Those are the things that if you're just looking surfacely, that you don't pick up. But a guy like Trayson and Honor, two guys that were brought in and hailed for their offensive prowess, playing defense and then setting screens, that's ultimately how you win some games. So I wanted to make sure we shouted both of those guys out for doing some of the little things.
Ken Palm's computer, not in love with West Virginia, has the Mountaineers at 62. If you're wondering, that puts them in the Big 12. If you take Ken Palm, it puts them at 11th in the Big 12. It has them above UCF, Arizona State, TCU, Colorado, and Utah. It has these teams above West Virginia. So here's the question for you. As the season goes on, can you beat these teams overall as far as the league race goes? Can you be better than Kansas State? Can you be better than Oklahoma State? Can you be better than Cincinnati? If you do, that would take you to 8th in the league.
Which should be a tournament team.
Kansas is 7, Baylor 6, BYU 5, Texas Tech 4, Arizona 3, Iowa State 2, and Houston 1 in Ken Palm right now.
Kansas, very interesting. Did you see Bill Self's comments yesterday? Darren Peterson out and said won't have him for the immediate future.
What's going on there?
Don't know. And don't know how long immediate future is. But I thought that was a significant quote from him yesterday. Peterson, one of the most ballyhooed freshmen in the country, thought to be one of the top 1 or 2 picks in the upcoming NBA draft, out for the, quote, immediate future, according to Bill Self. See what that means.
Ken Palm's computer, just a couple nuggets. So tomorrow's game against Lafayette, the computer gives West Virginia a 98% chance to win. Howsoever, next Friday night, Kercheval will be in attendance down there at Charleston, South Carolina. Mountaineers given just a 34% chance to beat the Clemsons. The Clemsons got beat by the Georgetowns.
Mm-hmm. Georgetown's off to a good start.
Yes, they are.
Ed Cooley's got it going there.
So that gives West Virginia just a 34% chance to beat Clemson. So this will be a super fun tournament for West Virginia. We were there before, and Mountaineer fans love that venue. There will be a ton of Mountaineer fans there. And so that's going to be that'll be a fun week, and we'll see exactly where West Virginia figures in here against other Power 4 opponents.
One last number. This is for Monday, and then as you get into this tournament, I mentioned this Friday, but let's watch and see if there's some positive regression coming here. West Virginia, 81st percentile with frequency for live ball turnovers, so they're creating a lot of turnovers. But they're 45th percentile in points per possession. So they're not cashing those in at the same rate in which they're creating them. Some of that's due to three-pointers, although they've shot it well from 3 off a live ball turnover, shooting 44% in those situations. So I would think that number can continue to creep up a little bit there in terms of points per possession. But watch that. It starts on Monday. Lafayette hasn't turned it over a lot, but they haven't seen a defense like they're going to see Monday night.
All right, let's heal ourselves. I'm sorry. Wait, what's that, sir? What?
Just an obvious observation about this basketball team. Early, I know it's early. That was as good against Pitt. I know you've talked about that. That's as good a defensive performance as you'll see, I think, for a basketball team. And also, early take. This is a pretty talented team. I think they're more talented than last year. And they got some guys. It just guys that stand out as more talented. I thought Lorient can do some amazing things with the basketball. He's a step above a lot of other players. And I like Harlan down on the block.
Yeah.
Big Harlan's been out to a great start.
Yep. And the pieces still aren't all there, as I keep saying. Chance Moore will make a significant difference, give you opportunities to do different things with his body type, and then eventually Jackson Fields will as well.
Yeah, Jackson Fields, I think, is going to really change this team. That gives you another big that can jump and run inside there to go with Harlan and DJ.
Now, when he plays, he doesn't use those designer glasses that he's been wearing during the games, right? He's going to take those off.
Correct.
Yeah. That's a stylish look, though.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, very good. Also, when Hoppy comes back in the studio, you'll be back in here if we record Tuesday or Wednesday, correct?
Of this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. What day?
Well, we're either going to do Tuesday or Wednesday, but I don't want to. The reason why you've been gone recently, we want to spend some time on that. And maybe show a picture Maybe show a picture of 2 on Hoppy's excellent adventure. Right now, let's heal, everybody. Let's heal. Time now for Textual Healing. It's brought to us by episode800.com, episode800.com. Our shipment of Mountaineer Munch popcorn for the holiday season has arrived, and the shipments have begun. You go to our website, you can get our popcorn, you can get our coffee, you can get our apparel, and a whole lot more. Plus, coming up this spring, the olive oil. A lot of people starting to ask about the olive oil. Really good stuff. We'll get into that. 3 guys before the game. So you know we're going to be in Charleston, South Carolina for the event on Saturday, and we encourage people to attend. If you've got tickets there, Low Country Mountaineer Alumni Group is going to be involved with that, along with Gold and Blue Enterprises. Then in a couple of weeks after that, in Charleston, West Virginia, looking forward to doing a live event the night before the Wake Forest game. And as previously reported on this program, we're going to have a really special guest with us.
Efforting.
That day.
Not confirmed.
So here we go. Hey, 3 guys, I want to thank all of you for bringing up the dangers of candy cigarettes a couple of episodes back. I know the dangers firsthand. I was a 2-pack a day man when I was 11 years old. After a long day of wheeling and dealing baseball cards in the neighborhood, it always took the edge off. When my friends started getting secondhand hypoglycemia, it was time to quit. P.S. Harlan's the best passing true big man we've ever had in a long time. I can't think of one in the last 25 years that would be close. Love the show. Pete in Pennsboro. Good to see he got rid of that. I mean, he was a 2-pack a day candy cigarette guy.
Not good for you.
It can lead into problems. Texter, this message is for the jackass who pushed the Marshall soccer player after Sunday's game. Grow up. You're a grown-ass man. Act like it instead of a petulant 12-year-old idiot. Self-control is a lost virtue among men these days. Be the man in the arena, not the moron embarrassing everyone. Go Mountaineers. Jay in Asheville, North Carolina. He's not happy. Texter. And we're going to get, so there's a general theme to a lot of the football-related texts, and I could have put them into the Chat GPT blender and broken them down, but in essence, this is kind of the theme that we got a lot of. 3 points I have to make. I've heard great coaches say if you're at home, you go for that yard on 4th down, but on the road you take the points. One of the field goals would have won. 2, their defense is better against the run. Perhaps we should have passed it more in the red zone. And 3, where was the jumbo package of offensive linemen that we used earlier in the year?
Yeah, one point of clarification, their defense actually number-wise was better against the pass. They were 40th nationally defensive success rate against the pass, 94th against rush, as we outlined.
Yeah. You'll see a general theme on these is this, questioning Rich's decision to go for the touchdown or the first down rather than kick field goals. A lot of that questioning. And quite honestly, you know, in play, while it was happening, I don't have an issue with it, quite honestly. I think Rich knew the number of points he needed to win the game, and I think he also, especially on those first 2 possessions to start the game, he had to settle for the field goal the first time, but he wanted those points on the second possession. And to me, I to this point, yeah, you can go back and do mathematics and say, hey, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but in the moment, I didn't have issues. What about you guys?
I think I get what you're doing there, and you're right. You left points out there. You didn't take advantage of the points. I think what he would answer this, and you can see where he's coming from. It's 2 things: his belief, and he said it in the postgame a million times. He just thinks you should be able to get 1 yard, even if they know you're running it, right? So that's first in his mindset. Number 2, given how much West Virginia has struggled to sustain drives, never mind just put points up in general, sustain drives. The fact that you're down close and early you could have put a real dagger into them, I'm sure he's thinking to himself, I don't know how many times we're going to be able to get back in here. 1. 2, we mentioned this hasn't been an explosive offense either, so you were going to have to try and drive down the field, which has been part of the problem. You ended up with 2 explosive plays, I get it. But early in that game, I'm sure his thinking was, I don't know how many times we're going to get down here against what's a pretty good defense. I better try and put 7 on the board, is my guess.
That's my guess, too. That's my thinking. Steve from Virginia Beach writes, okay, guys, before we officially say check, please, on this football season, losing to Arizona State was like a trip to the emergency room. You show up thinking it's just heartburn. Next thing you know, you're hooked up to multiple machines with the doctor saying you need a triple bypass, telling you to slow down on the Tudor's biscuits. But let's remember, owning Pitt in football and basketball was the extra gravy on the side. Well worth the ER visit. Disappointing year? Yeah, but worth it to clown Pitt until 2029. Time to focus on hoops. By the way, the women's team truly brought the hard edge. Unbelievable historic win. Texter, hello crew. Matt from Clear Mountain Bank here. I wanted to share a quick update on our Suncrest branch sign. Look what they did there. So they had the history on that is they put their Beat Pitt sign up before the backyard brawl in football. Right. Then after West Virginia beat them in football, they put up the We Beat Pitt above that. And now with the basketball, they got 2 of their fine folks that work there, and they're holding up the sign again. So we beat Pitt again. Very nice.
Well done.
Well done. Well done, Matt. Very good. We had a couple of these texts, and we can talk about this a little bit. Not to sound stuffy, but I will. The fan version of Sweet Caroline is beneath the dignity of the institution which has produced 17 Rhodes Scholars. I suspect many parents, and maybe, including some coaches with children in attendance, cringe at the choice words. The song only fosters the image of a crude, vulgar, and classless people that West Virginians should be trying to dispel. I suspect that others or orders from the top to ban the song at Pitt events would fail, perhaps even generating more enthusiasm for the song. I don't have a solution, only a lament. Signed by AJ in PA. And there were a couple of those questioning the use of Sweet Caroline. So here's where I am. Here's where I am on that. As you know, I'm not really big into taunts, one school to another as taunt. However, there are exceptions. And I have no problem whatsoever in letting that go for a couple of different reasons. One, 2 things can be true. You can have 17 Rhodes Scholars and be an academic institution, but you can also be who you really are. And what is West Virginia? West Virginia is gritty. West Virginia takes no crap from anyone. And I personally, I'm huge in those across the pond soccer chants where they have this great stuff. So I actually enjoy it. I like it because I've been to Pitt and I've heard the constant incest jokes and this and that with your sister. And it's like, hey man, it's fair game and it's in use. And I think people love it.
So you do have to do some explaining to your kids when they're little about it.
Understood.
There is a little bit of that. I understand what the texter's saying. I think it is one of the, listen, I golden blue glasses on here, I get it. One of the all-time great hijacks of another school's tradition. There has to be a part of a lot of Pitt fans that just cringe when it starts because they know what West Virginia fans are going to give them. You've taken their tradition and absolutely just hijacked the thing.
That's a good point.
That's a pretty good tone. When you talk about taunting of schools and going back and forth and what rivalries mean, that's pretty high on the list of things you can do. You took their deal and made it your own.
Stole it.
Pretty good. Doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, is Hoppy still with us? Do we have Hop still here? Or did he go away? He must have gone away. He's not in the box. Kercheval disappeared again. Yeah. Oh, no, he's still. Okay, good. Okay. Why am I doing that? I had your volume down. I'm sorry. My bad.
Oh, that's
my bad. I'm sorry. I thought you went away. I looked up there. I didn't see him. I'm sorry.
Here.
What do you think about Sweet Caroline?
I think that like you all have made good points, and Brad, like you say, you got to explain to the kids. But it's a rivalry. It's the most intense rivalry. Number one. Number two, you want to make this more of an institution. Try to ban it. It'll become more of a thing. So it is what it is. It's not a big deal. It's a slightly vulgar part of what is a really good rivalry, and you live with it.
Yeah.
And it's so.
And again, and nationally, it's become a thing. I mean, nationally, like people know, like Warren Sapp, defensive line coach for Colorado, while the game was going on and West Virginia played it at the Colorado game, like he was outwardly laughing. It's a thing. So if you got to be known for something, be known for being crazy, passionate fans. Boom. It's just a compliment to Country Roads. Texter. This is funny. Scott in Stafford writes, the hot start for the WVU men's basketball team is great news for North Carolina's tournament hopes.
That's well done, Scott. That might be in the Textual Healing Hall of Fame.
That is superb.
Excellent. Well done. Still one of the most ridiculous decisions in sports.
No question.
The West Virginia was left out, and that they got in.
So last episode, we were talking about when did West Virginia block a punt for a score? When did the last time it happen? Remember, and the gentleman had said Oklahoma State.
Right.
And I looked in the box, and the box doesn't say blocked punt. But guess what?
They did?
They did. The guy sent me a video link. Blocked it at about the 1 yard line and just carried the ball in.
Mm-hmm.
So it did happen. So I don't know. We got to go find what were those guys saying? The rules on it. Like they were. Why did they say that? That was the last block since they got that screwed up. Rich in Williamsburg, Virginia. TC, please explain the naming of Hope Coliseum. So the explaining the name of the Hope Coliseum. So obviously they sold the name to Hope Gas, 10-year deal. The number's out there, right? People know what the number is. Has that been FOIA'd out?
Don't know.
It's about 10, 11, 12 million, I think.
No, it's 23. It's 23 million over 10 years, $2.3 million a year. So anyway, I guess I did. Anyway, so obviously in the world that you're living in now, you need more revenue dollars. The athletic department with revenue share has been, put to the task. You need to come up with $20 million this year, and then every year going forward more for revenue share. And so everything is up in play to try to find different ways and streams of revenue, and that is one of those. And if you mean why doesn't it say Hope Gas Coliseum? That's because Hope Gas wants it known as the Hope Coliseum, because I think they want to be known and want to do more things outside of just gas and being known as gas. I think they want to be known, as a partner in everything that they do. And there's a bunch of other things that they are doing with the university. And so that's kind of where it is. I'll just read a little bit of this. I'm appalled at the action involving Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. I understand rivalries make sports, but in allowing this unsportsmanlike action that disrespects the institution of Pitt, the song was written in honor of Caroline Kennedy and the songwriter Neil Diamond. I get the rivalry, but when do we teach respect for our opponents, which is one of the steps of sportsmanship, if not the number one step? I can see a whole younger generation thinking this is the norm in society. Thus, that same disrespect will trickle down to high school sports and further. Well, guess what? That horse is out of the barn. And if Sweet Caroline, for what's going on in our world right now, if Sweet Caroline's the thing, trust me, the dam has already broken in that regard. Trust me, I was in Morgantown with my dad for the big win Thursday. Now we're in D.C. This morning we went to the International Spy Museum, and I cannot confirm nor deny that Oliver Straw's dad, Anthony, has an exhibit there. I can confirm we are headed to a bar to watch West Virginia play football. Texter, had our chance at the end, just came up short. Better days ahead for sure. Would have been nice to get a bowl game, but hey, maybe this will allow time extra for recruiting. Another person said when you're on the road, you take the points. Field goals are okay. You can get fourth downs, and if you can't get fourth downs inside of the 5. Texter, I may have sent this message before, but I've been emphasizing this since the 2018 Oklahoma game. When will coaches start taking the 3-point shot until they absolutely have to? It seems like almost every time points are missed, the team that misses them ends up losing by 2 or 3. It's a widespread issue. Shepherd in South Charleston. Another person, take the points in the end zone, please. Texter says you can second-guess every call, but you have to show trust in your team when you can get a yard. We fought hard, came up short. We're setting the tone for the future. Hey, 3 guys, or is it 2.5? No, he's here. I get no such thing as moral victories, but, man, we were close. If you would have told me after the stomping that we took at Kansas, we would have had 4 wins, I really don't know I'd believe it, especially if you said we're down to a true freshman and rotating running backs. I would have thought, well, there's always next year. But the fight that this team has doesn't get old. It's what we're used to for so long, a bunch of nobodies turning the underlined bold print team into a highlight. I root for the Mountaineers. Winning and losing, I think they'll still have a lot to be proud of. Texter, this there was just all we got on this was the brother and the niece. So a couple of Mountaineer fans went to the Arizona State game. I think that's Cactus there, so that'd be the WLM. So there you go, sporting a Pat White jersey. The rest of these are into the women's basketball team, I think. Good morning, gents. Shout out to the women's team, the Fab Five, Mark Kellogg and staff. With more experience than I in this realm, has this ever happened before? That had to be historic, clearly significant. No, that's never happened before. Never happened before. Texter, a lot of negativity regarding WVU football. As I watched the game, I saw a competitive team until the end. Injury is not an excuse. However, we're watching QB3, RB4, and Heisman candidate Curtis Jones, who's a linebacker playing running back. I get it. He played running back in high school, but not why he was here. What does this team look like with a full complement of players available? Time will tell. This year gives me hope even in a loss. I have hope in something I didn't think I had in the previous 6 years. Maybe. Or many thanks for what you do, and let's go.
Very good. I think you're actually quarterback 4 if you go by based on who got starts, right? Wilkins was the 3rd starter. This is the 4th. Curtis Jones continues the Heisman campaign, though, with another rushing touchdown.
I mean, has anyone scored more touchdowns this season per carry than Curtis Jones? I think not. The rest of these.
Who had Curtis Jones in preseason? Did we mention Curtis Jones in preseason discussion?
I don't think he was on the over-under episodes back in August.
I know. I love it, though.
Yeah. Happy for him. Texter, these are all on the women's team. The state of West Virginia may as well proceed. The state of West Virginia might as well proceed with planting a historical marker on the grounds of the Greenbrier that tells the tale of the Greenbrier 5. Incredible. John from Oklahoma City, the women's win over Duke may be the biggest in school history. Only the Kentucky Elite Eight comes to mind as close. Do you agree on biggest upset? Well, because of the way it happened, I think West Virginia probably would have won the game if they had their full complement of players. In the 3rd and 4th quarter, I think they would have wore them down, probably would have won the game. But for what they did, that's in a category of its own. Like, I wouldn't even put it with anything else. It was like it's got its own category, like traditional 40-minute basketball game and a basketball game where you have 5 players. It's in its own list.
Yeah, they're doing it in the 5 is pretty amazing. Because if you think about it, I mean, West Virginia should be ranked. They should have been ranked before this. Now put them in the rankings. So in terms of just pure upset, it was more the conditions in which the game developed.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Texter, that first 6.5 minutes of the second half in the women's game against Duke, perhaps the best 6.5 of WVU basketball of all time, men or women. Absolutely incredible what those kids did with 5 players. Thanks for coming to West Virginia, Duke. Yeah, so that's a really good point, because if you weren't following it really closely, when you start the 3rd quarter, so everyone's still kind of in shock that you just lost all of those players. And they had about 2 minutes to say, okay, it's you 5, let's go. And they came out, and it did not take them time to get a feel of how we're going to do this. They attacked. And so to the texter's point, you're right. They exploded, and that even made it more astounding, and then held on for the win. After watching the game Friday, I couldn't stop thinking about how strange, improbable, and incredible that game truly was. Since that will be part of West Virginia lore moving forward, I think those young women deserve a catchy nickname. White Sulphur 5 or something appropriate that will forever remind West Virginia fans of a remarkable moment with these young women: Sydney Woodley, Sydney Shaw, Riley Makalewski, Logan Johnson, and CC Revere. Yeah, it's just incredible.
I think at the very least, you got to have a historic marker in the ballroom. Right. At the very least.
What could they do? In all seriousness, I think they do need. Take me with it. I think they need to have something that they put into the Hall of Traditions back here, in one of the cases, just something that marks it on this day. West Virginia with 5 players beat 15th Duke, and I think something needs to be done there. Doesn't need to be a statue, but it just needs to be a marker place to show. Because why? Because it defines everything that WVU athletics says that it is. Tough, resourceful, gritty, never quit, hard edge.
Ability to persevere.
Ability to, it's the embodiment of every characteristic that you say you are. So, I would do that. I'd have something
Who plays Mark Kellogg in the movie? That's my question. Who plays Coach Kellogg in the movie?
You watch more movies than I do. Who would be?
Hoppy's a movie guy.
Who would you think, Hoppy?
Oh, gosh. Let me think about that a little bit. Is Tom Cruise available?
Yeah, I wouldn't do Cruise.
That's all I'm asking.
No, I wouldn't do Cruise.
It would be nice to put a nice little medallion there somewhere on the wall or on the ballroom floor somewhere that
I think you take a
just signifies it.
I think you get the locker room picture that's been distributed when they're all in the locker room and they're squeezing. You take that picture, and then you take a picture of the 5 players, and you take the box score, and you make a note that says, on this day, West Virginia with 5 players, da-da-da. I think you do something like that. Just a guess. Kellogg, pretty cool, huh? Kellogg, pretty cool.
Tom Hanks? How about Tom Hanks? He too old?
No, Hanks and Kellogg. I mean, I don't know these actors. What's this guy? What's that? Is that Ryan Gosling available? Is that his name?
Ryan Gosling, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe Chris Hemsworth?
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
We're working on it.
We'll look into that. So let's have an open meeting. When are we doing the next show?
Wrap it up here. We'll have it offline.
Okay.
You're
going to be in studio so we can show all the pictures from your trip.
I will be.
This is something. This is really something. All right, we've done enough.
You'd already showed them.
No, we didn't show. I want you to be there to give us the explanation. We'll be back Tuesday or Wednesday to preview West Virginia against Clemson. Obviously, the football team in a bye week. We got other stuff going on, right? The Sockers are doing well. Congratulations to Nikki Izzo Brown and her group for their opening round NCAA tournament victory. Mountaineer men's team also going to get its walking papers this week as to what's going to happen for them. We'll have all of that and more. Good to have Hoppy back. Busy guy. Special thanks to Braden and Jake for producing today's show. 3 guys before the game. Brought to us by GoMart. Get that GoMart Rewards card. Instantly save food and fuel. Go into the store, hit the QR code, and do that Marty spin. Win all kinds of stuff. 3 guys brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit available for catering activities. Give them a call. Get an event catered by Tudor's. 3 guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Great time of the year to take advantage of some opportunities as the boating season winds down, but that could only be starting. Great opportunities for you. 3 guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. They won't take no for an answer. Simply won't. Contact Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. And by Connolly CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. That'll do it for us. Episode 675 is into the book for the Senator and for the Dean. We're out. Talk to you again later this week. Stay well.